Let me tell y'all why Creighton, the team that just lost to Arizona in the Maui Invitational, the runner up, is the best team in college basketball. I have three reasons. Let me tell you why. Their starting lineup, their coach, and probably the most important thing, if you got them first two, they fight. Creighton fight like a motherfucker, man. So I'm gonna start with a starting lineup. Ron Nimhard. No, let me start. Let me start with the other Ron. Let me start with Ron Kalkbrenner. Ron Kalkbrenner is the best. Well, I'm gonna say the most translatable upperclassman center into the NBA. Ron Kalkbrenner reminds me of Brooke Lopez. He's 7 feet, 7'1", 260. He even wear number 11 like Brooke Lopez. We seen it today. He could shoot the three. Defensive player of the year, Big East last year. Ryan Kalkbrenner is going to determine if Creighton wins the national championship. And it's all going to hinge on Ryan Kalkbrenner and his confidence. 2 games in a row, we seen him miss some big free throws. And at times, he looks kind of scared. But let me say this again. Ryan Kalkbrenner is the most NBA translate, like his game translates to the NBA the best out of any of the upperclassmen bigs in college basketball. Ron Kalkbrenner is the difference between Creighton winning a national championship and possibly losing in the second round of the NCAA tournament. And it's that simple. But he's the most important player, and he's still not the best player. He's probably like the third, fourth best player on the team, and he's the most important. A 7'1" center who's the defensive player of the year in the Big East last year. That's how good Creighton is, in my opinion. Um, Ron Kalkbrenner, his skill set. Let's go over his skill set. He has great touch around the basket. Like he has great touch around the basket. Like you know how some players they're clunky around the basket. Like it always seems to just be clunky around the basket. Let me give you an example. Like Jaden Ivey, when he gets around the basket, it's like it's clunky. It's like you don't have no faith in it. But he has just he Rod Carburn is different. He has really good touch around the basket. Uh, he's of course he's a good shot blocker. He's a good rebounder. He doesn't foul. He's a college big who doesn't foul. You know what I'm saying? But it's like imagine Jaren Jackson Jr. if he didn't foul. That's what Ryan Kalkbrenner does in terms of blocking shots. He don't have a range as Triple J, but you get what I'm trying to say in terms of value. But Ryan Kalkbrenner, he blocks shots. He contests shots. He doesn't foul while doing so. He rebounds. He has nice touch around the basket. And he's shown in the Arizona game he can stretch the floor. This probably is the fourth best player on his team. Uh, the point guard, Ron Nimhard, he's probably the best. He is the best player on the Creighton basketball team. Uh, he's probably the best. He's one of the best pure point guards in the whole country. He could be an All American this year. That's how good Ron Nimhard is in his sophomore year. Ron Nimhard had 25, 6, and 5 against Anthony Black, a projected top 10 player in the NBA draft next year. Ron Nimhard is like 5'9". 6 feet. Ryan Nimhard could lead the team to the national championship. It's that simple. Ryan Nimhard is that good. He can shoot. He can play on, off the ball. He has great vision. He's feisty. Down the stretch of that Arkansas game, he was grabbing the most important rebounds. 5'9". Ryan Nimhard is talented, plays with heart, he plays smart. Everything you want out of a NCAA champion point guard. Trey Alexander, I feel like he has a really good go-to one-on-one scoring bag that he showed against Arizona. I feel like he's a good pick and roll passer. He's a good passer in general. We seen him play point when Ryan Nimhard went down last year, and we seen what he did, and we've seen what Trey Alexander did in the tournament. Trey Alexander could shoot. He, there's not one one-dimensional player in the starting line in Creighton starting lineup. It's not one-dimensional player. And when I say one-dimensional player, like rebounding big, that's it. Catch and shoot wing, that's it. Passing only point guard. No, everybody can do different things, multiple things. Trey Alexander can defend, he can shoot. He can go, he can ISO. He's kind of a 3-level college scorer. He's probably the third best player on this team. Fourth best. Like it's literally a toss-up between the only thing we know for sure is that Ron Nimhard is the best player on Creighton. That's the only thing we know for sure. 1 through 5, it's be like, it could be either hey, who knows? Baylor Shireman. Deep range. Baby Splash Brother. Baylor Shireman looks like a Splash Brother. He's shooting that good. His range is that deep. Baylor Shireman, he can hoop. Baylor Shireman, he's going to hoop in the NBA next year. He that good. And he's going to be good when it matters. You seen that deep 3 he hit to bring it in within 4 against Arizona? You seen it. Hopefully you did if you watched the game. He has deep range. He can pass. And he's a great rebounder. He's not one-dimensional either. He's not one-dimensional. Arthur Kaluma. He's probably been playing the worst to start the year. He's played the worst in Maui at the whole starting 5. And guess what? He's going to be picked before anyone on his team in the NBA draft next year. 6'7". He had a lot of impressive blocks. He can be an impressive defender at times. He can create at times. He can shoot at times. He can do a little bit of everything at times. He's not a good playmaker, but when you have Shireman, Alexander, and Nimhard, do you have to be? But he's a Swiss Army knife. He can take bigs off the dribble and he can guard a lot of power forwards. He had a tough time against Tubelis, but Tubelis is probably a top 3 power forward, could be top 5, top 10. I don't know. We got to see how it plays out, but I'm just saying. He was start taking him off the dribble, got him in foul trouble. That's how you get these bigs that are kind of working you off the court. But Arthur Kaluma, yeah. So, I mean, this Creighton team is just damn near flawless in terms of their starting lineup. I think Arthur Kaluma might be the worst player on Creighton and he's the best NBA draft prospect. He's like number 32 in ESPN mock draft. Creighton starting lineup is crazy. Ryan Nembhard could be an All-American. Trey Alexander is a 3-level scorer who can also facilitate and defend the best guard on the other team. Arthur Kaluma might be the best. He is the best NBA draft prospect according to ESPN on the whole team. Baylor Shireman can go for 30 any night if he's just really in that mode. He can shoot from 30, as Stephen A would say. Pull up from anywhere on the court. And he can pass and rebound. Ryan Kalkbrenner is 7 feet, 7'1", 260. Block shots, rebound, soft touch around the basket. Flash, he can shoot the three. He just got to be more confident. But this starting five is flawless. They can match up pretty much with anybody. I'm looking at Houston. I think Creighton could beat Houston. That's just me. Houston doesn't have an answer for Ryan Kalkbrenner. I love Jarris Walker. I love watching him at IMG. But he ain't checking Ryan Kalkbrenner. He's gonna have trouble guarding Kaluma, to be honest, if we gonna be just real. Like Jarris Walker is good, but those guys gonna give him trouble. And I think he's their best, he's Houston's best defensive big, and that might be a problem. I love Jarris Walker, but it is what it is. Creighton is for real, bro. Creighton is for real. This starting lineup is for real. Another reason why I think Creighton is the best team in college basketball after being the runner-up in the Maui Invitational. Creighton has a great coach. Doug McDermott, daddy, what's his name? Greg McDermott. He's a great coach. He's an elite coach in college basketball right now. You could tell he was because last year what he did with a depleted roster and a roster full of freshmen. Creighton was a good team last year. When I seen they got Baylor Shireman, I was like, whoa, this is the best team to me on paper. Everybody was saying UNC, everybody was saying Gonzaga. In my heart, and still in my heart, I feel like Creighton is the best team. If you look at the names in terms of college basketball, you look at the names, Ryan Nembhard, Then you look at the coach, Greg McDermott, This is the best team he's ever had, and he did all this with those teams. Yeah, Creighton gonna win the national championship. It's just I feel it. Come on, man. Arkansas and Arizona. Look at those guys. Look at those guys. And it's like Creighton was right there. But I feel like Creighton, man, in terms of development, I feel like Creighton is finna develop to a crazy level. Because, Baylor Shireman is new. Trey's dealing with a new role from what he had last year down the stretch. Ryan Nembhard is back, and he's the best player. He's a sophomore. Ryan Kalkbrenner is already great in his role. He just needs to be more confident. And they have an elite coach. Greg McDermott is an elite coach. Every time runs were made, adjustments were made. I don't remember exactly which ones, but I remember being like, oh, man, this coach. I remember I was having those moments like, I like this coach. He's doing good stuff with his rotations, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But Greg McDermott is a good coach. You know what else they got going for them? Probably the most important thing, they fight. Tough games. Arkansas. Anthony Black was giving them all they could handle. Bro, I'm just telling y'all, bro. Creighton is the best team in the country in college basketball. The best team in the country. They fight. They fight. They claw. That Arizona game, them motherfuckers was getting blown out with like a minute left. They came all the way back. Baylor Sharp been hitting big shots. Hey, watch what I tell you. Creighton is gonna be the magical team where it's like, and I'm telling you now, Creighton is still the best team in college basketball. They have the best starting lineup. They have an elite coach, and they fight. Man, Diddy knows ball, man.